This is Ellie from Pro-Lgbt.com, and today we're talking about what is going on in the church. We have some rather bad news. If you might have heard about the Pontifical Academy for Life, the head of the Pontifical Academy for Life. It's supposed to be a pro-life pontificate academy, and we have Archbishop Paglia, who was appointed by Pope Francis, saying that abortion is the pillar of our society. Abortion. Talking about Law 194, that it is the pillar of society. And that's just beyond horrible. And we also have Father James Martin coming out, as he always does. He was just recently commended by Pope Francis a second time. He's the head of communications for the Vatican, and he embraces homosexuality and transgender lifestyles. Now look back in the Old Testament, what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Do you think that God will apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah? And I can tell you, no, he won't. What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah will happen again on the earth. If the church continues to move towards this embrace of abortion and same-sex marriage, we will have fire coming down on the earth. I can tell you that for certain, just like as it happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. God will not apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. We also have, unfortunately, more bad news that John Claude Hellerick, they have another synod coming out, and John Claude Hellerick says that Pope Francis is pro-LGBT. They're going to be coming out in this synod for our church, and it's going to have pro-LGBT language, pro-homosexual language, and transgender language. They're going to allow women priests. They want to. This is what he's saying is going to happen in the synod. Women deacons, married priests, all these things that I'm hearing about going on in the church bring back to mind this vision that St. John Bosco had. And this is the most, I believe, important visions of all time, the one that St. John Bosco had. And what it reveals is that the church is going to suffer for its confusion, for the schism that is happening right now before our eyes between what is traditional and the church now is embracing abortion, as you hear from Paglia about abortion is basically a pillar of our society. He's the head of the Pontifical Academy for Life, appointed by Pope Francis, and now we have Father James Martin, who has been in as communications director, also appointed by Pope Francis, saying that we should embrace homosexuality. And now we have John Claude Hellerick saying that Pope Francis is pro-LGBT and that the Synod is going to push for this in the church, for women priests, women deacons, and married priests. So this vision of St. John Bosco is more relevant now. It's going to happen, I really believe it is, to wake up the church, because it's gone into darkness. It's become a swamp in our church. So what was this vision that St. John Bosco had? He saw the ship, the church was on this ship, this boat, this large boat, and the Pope was at the helm, and a ram came towards the ship which the church was on, with the Pope at the helm, and it pierced the side of the boat. Now we know the identity of the ram. We know it because of the book of Daniel. We know the angel Gabriel told Daniel that the ram represented Persia, and Persia is modern-day Iran. And that's why I'm saying that Islam, and I've said this in my other video too, Islam is going to wake up the church. The sword of Islam. The red horse rider, the second one, identified in Revelation chapter 6, he has a large sword. That sword represents Islam. After the attack on Europe from Islam, Iran. St. John Bosco says a cool breeze occurs. That's when the warning will come. It will come when we need it the most, as the Garabandal Visionaries tells us. It will happen as the war is happening. It's not going to happen before it. It's going to happen during it. That's why you need to get ready and make sure that you're standing on solid ground with Jesus the Lord. Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. So you have to know you're standing on traditional values, on the truth, because the church is not pointing to that. It's not going to be pointing to that very soon. It's going to embrace, as it is already, immorality, which our society is thriving on and is killing our society. We're pulling away from truth and traditionalism. Remember Pope Leo the 13th, what he said. He said, as the world embraces sodomy, it will push towards Antichrist. That's what our church is doing. It's pushing towards the times of the Antichrist. That's what Pope Leo the 13th warned. He died in 1903. He warned about these things that are happening today. The things that the church is embracing is immorality. And we're pushing towards the time of the Antichrist. You have to understand we're living in the days of Revelation. Sister Lucia of Fatima said in 1960, we are living in the end times. My friend, it's 2022. And look at what's happening. We are at the beginnings of the fulfillment of the book of Revelation. We are at the beginning of the fulfillment of the book of Revelation. You have to get ready, your house in order. How do you know you'll be going to one of the sites where they will have, where you can stay to be protected? How do you know if you're going to be one of those people, will be one of the remnant? How do you know if you're going to be in a refuge site? You may not. God may want you to suffer as a martyr. You may not be able, God may want you to suffer through this time. People think, I often, I do want to address this, the Protestants and the Baptists believe they're going to be raptured. You're not going to be raptured. You're going to have to go suffer through it unless the remnants are going to be very, very small. The people that are at the refuge sites are going to be a very small number. Most of the people will be apostate, and most of the people will die in the natural disasters and in the wars and in the time of Antichrist when he arises. We're going to have to go through the fire. You can't receive a crown unless you go through the fire and the suffering. People think that they're going to have a red carpet through the tribulation and be given their crown for eternal life. It's not how it works. So I have discovered on the tilma on the right hand of Our Lady of Guadalupe the name of the Antichrist, F6AHMAT. It's an Islamic name. It goes hand in hand with what John Bosco saw. He saw the ram of Islam pierce the church, and then the warning came. The warning was symbolically presented as a cool breeze that St. John Bosco had in his vision, and he said after that cool breeze there was victory. So the warning will come during the war. It will be a means. Islam will wake up the church. This is how God has ordained, what God has ordained for us to endure. According to his prophets, he always reveals these things. St. John Bosco is the most important, I feel. He's very relevant for today. His prophecy holds true. So, this is what we're facing in our church. A church that says abortion is a pillar of our society. Catholic Church that embraces homosexuality and transgender lifestyles. The lifestyle itself will bring Sodom and Gomorrah back to the earth, and our church is embracing it. A church that is possibly going to, according to John Claude Hollerick, have pro-LGBT language in it, women priests in the Synod, women priests encouraged, women deacons, married priests in the Synod. This is what we're facing. We have to be prepared to die as martyrs. Most people don't want to think about being martyred. They just want to go to the refuge site. But I can tell you that there'll be a very small number of people at the refuge sites, very small number of people that will be the remnant. Look at the cross of Jesus. When he died on the cross, there were only a handful of people around his cross. That's how it will be in the end. That's the number of people who will be the remnant. And that's why you have to know who Jesus is and pray to have the strength and the courage to be a martyr someday, if God allows it. Because we don't know when Antichrist will come, and I believe his name will be F6AHMAT, the Islamic Antichrist Isa. I don't know when he will come. In my videos I've said maybe 2066. I believe sometime by 2066 he will appear. It could be before that, or it could be later than that. So you have to know, but our own end can come any day. So we have to know Jesus. We have to pray to be strong. Pray to be strong. Because that's how great people are made. That's what Padre Pio said. Pray to be strong, because that's what makes great people. God bless. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, we're living in the last days. Pray fast and live a pure life. Give your heart to Jesus. And pray for an end to abortion. God bless.